I just don't know what to do with my hands.
Now, let's not freak out, Jackie.
What's going on, Kings fans? This is Zach from Los Angeles Hockey.
Let's keep our composure. We've gone too far. Oh, we're on?
Yeah, we're on.
I think we're live.
Yeah, we're on.
Live again.
Oh, okay. We're live. What's going on, everybody? What's up, Kings fans? How's everybody feeling? This is Zach.
This is Dave.
Robert here.
This is Wally.
This is the Los Angeles Hockey Club podcast. Just wanted to give a shout out to Grandstand Sports Network. Obviously, you can find all of our content on there. Also, check us out on Facebook. You can always search We Are Los Angeles Hockey Club. And then on Twitter, what is it? We Are LAHC. Yeah. So how's everybody feeling, dude? Home and home.
4 points.
I'll take it any day.
They're top of the conference, right?
Top of the conference, yeah.
Yeah.
They are, I think they lead the league in goals scored this year too, if I'm not mistaken. So it's nice to...
They're gnarly, man. They are a gnarly team, dude.
You look like you've got something on your mind to tell me, and it may or may not have to do with number 3.
Number 3. I do want to say that I said that Phaneuf would be an all right payoff, but I mean, that pass, dude. That pass against Vegas last night, man.
Yeah,
I was at the game. It was nuts. I was sitting 11 rows up right behind where Kopitar was shooting when he scored that tying goal. And it was just
Dave and I were watching it on my pad, and as soon as he made that pass and that shot, we held hands for like a little bit.
We did hold hands,
it was just a
had to
so that's what you did instead of doing the outline for tonight.
This is very true.
This is very true.
Yeah, I was typing out a tweet complaining about Phaneuf being on the ice, and then I just hit pause on that. Man.
It's a beautiful pass, dude.
It was beautiful.
Although, I gotta.
He was the only plus player last night.
Yeah, I believe it.
But Tom Gilbert had a pass just like that last year.
That's true.
So I wanted you to rein it in there a little bit on the excitement.
Well, I mean,
he was a righty.
Yeah, he was a righty though.
He was a righty.
And it was a pass to Kopitar too, wasn't it?
We might have to fact check that.
I can't remember exactly who it was too.
But I remember it happened.
That was an insane amount of shots in that first that game last night.
83 shots.
I remember thinking with like 30 seconds left, this flurry deserves a goal, but too bad we're not going to get it.
I see what you did there.
I didn't do it on purpose, but I'll take it.
He's been taking some pointers from Jim Fox. Huh? He's listening to him a lot.
Oh, Jim.
I know. Right?
Way too many dad jokes.
They're good puns, though, man.
I've had enough of those.
I hate you so much. I really do. And then tonight, the Kings throw Jack Campbell to the Wolves, man, and say, "Here."
You know what, Jack Campbell? I mean, it's the theme of the night. He kept his composure.
Yeah.
And he had a little shaky start, but
there were times where I was like,
back.
No. Every time.
Yeah, every time they would take a shot, it went just a smidge.
Don't shoot.
The rebound control wasn't there, but we got the win.
Credit to our defense for being there in the right place.
Yeah,
grab the puck, throw some tape around it.
I mean, I know we didn't get too in depth about that game last night because I mean that was an amazing game to come back and win in overtime. But just the performance that you saw out of the Kings tonight, what does that make you feel going forward?
Excited.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the team that we're going to have going forward, so I expect more of this, that's for sure.
41 saves for Campbell tonight on 42 shots.
That's gnarly. What about you, Robert? How do you... Because I remember before when we were walking into that establishment...
it's a very nice establishment.
Yeah, it's really nice, yeah. I had the hugest plate of nachos during that first period, so I really wasn't paying attention to the whole
Zach had the nachos, and so did his beard.
Yeah. Well, you don't understand. None of you guys really understand. When a full-grown beard like this, dude, you're going to get food for later. It's just bound to happen. But I remember...
I know all about that in 2012 and 2014. Yeah.
I remember walking in with talking to Robert saying, hey, dude, if they win this game tonight, how does this make you feel about their playoff chances? How did it make you feel, dude?
I'm starting to feel good now. Walking in, I was pretty skeptical and started a little slow, but this is what we had to do on these back-to-backs, and I wouldn't have bet on us to do it, but we did it, and I'm pretty happy.
What about you, Juan?
I'm glad I didn't bet against us tonight. I was actually tempted to, and I didn't, but...
it
makes me feel. It makes me feel good. I mean, I have a little bit of an egg on my face again when I'm saying about Phaneuf.
It's becoming a theme.
It is becoming a theme. That and bad fantasy trades. That's. But no, I mean, I like our chances. I mean, the Sharks the Sharks got a big upgrade, but I mean, Ducks didn't really do anything.
On paper, there's no reason we're not a playoff team. We should be second or third in the Pacific. No excuses.
We should be, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I still don't have a lot of faith in that 327 pairing long term, but
yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, like
I don't know how
on the
long
power play, great,
ride
sure.
the wave on that.
But I don't know. Like we can't really justify taking anybody out of the lineup right now, so just gotta keep rolling with it. I mean, I don't know why we're force feeding forward on the top pair still.
Yeah.
I think he's effective if we limit his minutes more, but I mean, I don't know. But we're winning, so
This home and home, dude, like it really gives me a little bit more confidence for the rest of the season. You know, they kept up with the number one team in the conference, dude, and they played. I mean, the first game. I mean, I'm not going to say that Vegas like took it to us. You know what I mean? But I mean,
first
it was
couple of periods.
yeah,
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
They were skating all over us.
that's true.
Well, especially because if we flip these results, if we would have lost both of these games, we'd probably be here eulogizing the season tonight.
That's
It'd
true.
be over.
I think that's fair.
It would be
I
over.
think that's fair.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I mean, I definitely have a little bit more confidence for going forward. I mean, I agree with you though. I mean, that 327 pairing is kind of brutal to watch.
But coming into tonight, their Corsi was like 42%, which I know people don't like Corsi, but that means for every 100 shots, 58 shot attempts, 58 were at our side, 42 that way. You just can't give up real estate like that.
When you're not strong and when you have fast enough skaters to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Even if your goalie is better than the other team, when he's seeing double the shots, which is a little bit of exaggeration, but when he's seeing more shots, he has to be better.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that tonight. I mean, you really saw Vegas exploit Dion Phaneuf like really bad. And they just chip it a little bit past him, and then they burn past him, you know. I definitely do feel like we need to shelter him a little bit.
Especially the way he's been playing on the power play, I can see his value if you have him in the right role. But too many of our defensemen, we have to put that asterisk by. Forward, I'd love him on the third pair. Phaneuf, I'd love him on the third pair. Martinez probably belongs on the third pair.
Fullen probably belongs on the...
Fullen's definitely a third pair.
So we have a bunch of third pair guys.
And yet our second pairing guys, we're benching. But
neither here nor there.
Yeah,
That is
I mean,
neither here nor there.
they brought him up again, but I thought we might have seen him tonight with what what was that who said it?
Well, it was Dennis Bernstein that
Yeah,
said
there
it. But I mean, I don't know. It was Muzzin made the turnover in the neutral zone, and Fullen was caught on the 2-on-1, and he blocked the pass.
That's right.
I mean, he did
I'm not going to blame him for one play. I mean, he's been a solid guy. Fullen, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to complain about his play either.
He almost dropped the gloves with Reeves tonight. I mean, what a cheap shot.
Somebody should have, right?
Yeah, I know.
3 shifts in a row. He's just banging every player we have out there.
Nobody was out there to answer the call, though, dude.
Who do we have that would?
Well, I mean,
I'm not.
Fullen was out there.
Clifford,
Fullen dropped the
I'm not
gloves.
gonna put Clifford out there against
Let Phaneuf fucking go at him.
Oh, I like that.
Effin.
Effin, yeah. Let him go at him, dude.
Phaneuf should have channeled to McGinley and stood up on his new team.
I agree. Ooh, that would
have been nice. Yeah.
Teammates.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good veteran move by McGinley. I remember when you were talking about that. Yeah, that was a good veteran move by him. But with these 2 games against Vegas, getting this film a little bit better, how do you feel about Jack Campbell as going forward as the backup?
Shout out to the Hockey 411 who hit us up on Twitter with this question as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just, like I said, it's like Green Bay Packers receivers, wingers on the top line playing with Sidney Crosby, and New England quarterbacks. It's a next man up type thing. Mm-hmm. And we have, Bill Ranford, the goalie whisperer, and it's like people play above their heads, so it's like Campbell's just the next man up, and we'll go from there.
He was thrown into a really important game.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
on the road against the best team in the conference, props to him.
Playing the puck
awesome.
and everything.
Yeah, he had a little bit of swagger going.
Yeah.
A little swagger.
Clearing the puck. I mean,
first round draft pick.
He's really good. I'm excited to see him as a backup. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little shaky. I was a little weary about his shakiness in the first period and the second period. You could tell he kind of had the jitters. Some of the, some of the saves that he made, he could have made a little bit cleaner. But I mean, rebound control was pretty bad for him tonight too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think if you look at his body of work in Ontario, and I think that's just a little rust. And I don't know how I felt about throwing him into this game, but you get the win. He's going to play, 4 more times? I'm okay with him for the rest of the year. I mean, if Quick goes down, our odds are probably shot anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we didn't give up a first or Velarde.
Yeah.
In the deadline.
Thank God.
That's true.
That's what I really wanted for my birthday.
Short of give up
to not give up Velarde.
So
short of for Carlson and Duchesne.
After the last podcast,
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
After the last podcast, we recorded. The Kings made another move. We got Toby Reeder.
Tobias Funke Reeder.
Yeah. And what Wedgwood, dude? I mean, the goal is going to be. They got sent down, cleared waivers. He's in AHL.
Yeah, just AHL depth for Wedgwood. But I mean, Reeder was the main prize, and just basically
give Wedgwood a little time in the system with Dusty Emu and.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're.
I mean, we flip a backup goalie that we signed for league minimum for a restricted free agent forward who can help us in our middle six.
He's gonna play every game, and Kemper was gonna play 4 or 5 games.
Games left, and it's just like
it's a net win for me.
Yeah, I have to agree 100%.
Even if Wedgwood were claimed on waivers, it still would be.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I wanted to touch on because I saw a lot of when the trade first went down, a lot of people. Kind of commenting on it. Oh, we're just going to lose him, and no, we were going to lose Kemper, but with Reeder,
a lot of them don't know the difference between unrestricted and restricted free agency.
He's controlled.
Is Robert doing a beer run?
B-double-E-double-R-U-N,
yeah, sorry.
beer run.
Sorry about that, everybody. I'm a little bit sick. So is Robert. So he kind of stepped away.
I'm finally getting over mine. So
yeah. So I did want to touch on that just because I saw a lot of people. He's a controllable asset.
Absolutely,
at the end of the season, we have his rights. I'm assuming that we're going to resign him, dude. Because he's the direction the Kings want to go like going forward.
Absolutely. I mean, I think so. Why not?
Yeah.
At this point.
There
we go.
Yeah.
We're just doing
some beer to wash it down.
Right.
You're dying a little bit.
Yeah. Good man.
It's good man. So we can kind of move on from there. Talk about the trade deadline, man. Winners, losers, expectations, your feelings.
All right. Well, my winner, a clear cut, New York Rangers. They finally are not. This is not Glenn Sather in charge. Clearly, so Mr. Trade first round picks. I mean, you kind of got that sense, at the beginning of the year at the draft when they traded Stepan for the 7th overall pick, which ended up to be Elias Anderson. Can you imagine him in a Coyotes uniform right now?
Yeah.
But I think getting those assets, trading McDonough.
I was gonna say you don't think that Tampa Bay is like the winner, or like a
no,
second?
I'm still going.
Oh, you're going.
I'm just saying Rangers are my A++.
We have a list.
I have a list. I have trading getting McDonough, getting those prospects, Hayek and. Not Holden. Thank you. Yes, Howden. And basically, that's 5 former Rangers now on Tampa. We got Strawman, Callahan, Girardi.
These two.
And McDonough and JT Miller.
McDonough and JT Miller. And it's just like, Rangers get another first-round pick if Tampa wins the Cup either this year or next year. So, Rangers.
They got a lot of assets, man. Well, I mean, they got rid of Loughlin.
And now they have 3 first-round picks. I mean, getting Rick Nash, a rental, getting that. Granted, they did have to take Bolesky's contract on and back and pay half of Nash's cap hit, which, you get over that. But getting Spooner back, too, and their first, it's like, odds are maybe one of those teams play each other in the second round, so that's still going to be a draft pick in
Spooner needed
20s.
Spooner needed a bit of a change of scenery, though. I mean, they talked about
now
for
Rangers put him at center.
Yeah,
and they didn't really. I mean, they were using JT Miller and Hayes as kind of like their 2 and 3, kind of interchangeably, but they're just kind of. Now that they got Spooner, Nemestikov, Zuccarello, that's not a bad second line.
No, it's not.
Kreider's back healthy, so Kreider, Zibanejad center, and then Buchnevich. They're finally putting him on the top line, and then just letting him go at it. So their forwards are good, and they're just basically it's like their defense is just kind of working through it because they don't really have any NHL guys, so to speak, except for Brady Shea. But
Yeah, they're gonna have to
Shattenkirk.
improve on that.
well, he's hurt right now.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna say
that's-
yeah,
I forgot.
wow.
Yeah, but no. Also, Tampa Bay. I mean, look at these 6 defensemen: Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev, Stroman, and then Coburn and Girardi. I mean,
That's
what more do you
frightening.
want? That's it's insane. So
Yeah,
they're another
honestly,
winner.
They win the East, dude. I think so.
And if they don't, I
It'll
don't
be
know
a
what the hell's
travesty
wrong, yeah.
if somehow they. I mean,
lose
they
to
have to
Pittsburgh?
play. No. They'll have to play probably Boston in the second round, and that should be like maybe an Eastern Conference final. And then I also have Boston as a winner. I mean, they needed that second line left wing to play with Krejci and maybe Backus. Or no, DeBrusque is playing up there too. They kind of interchange.
Yeah,
those guys,
I mean,
but-
Rick Nash was a really good pick for him, dude. Really was. I mean,
Mhm.
he's not only is he I mean, we talked about this in our last podcast, about like who we were like thinking about and stuff, and
Yeah.
he just creates plays on his own. He's a big body.
I mean, it's
Still-
like we would love him here in LA, but there's no way we were going to give
No.
what he ultimately got. So
Yeah, I think the Rangers did really well on what they sold Nash for. I think they could have got a lot more for the McDonough-Miller trade. I mean, they got Nemestikov, who's having a career year, and he's in his mid-20s, and he needs a new contract. They got 2 prospects they're not Velarde's, and they got a low first-round pick,
Low
if it
first-round
becomes
pick.
one, and another first-round
Well,
pick.
those prospects were like Velarde's. I don't know if that's
Well, one
all
of
they
them,
would have gotten for that.
is it Hayek, the defense prospect?
Yeah.
He's supposedly he's the goods, and so. But I don't know. I think they're going to make a splash in free agency. Personally, they're going to go big after John Carlson. In my opinion, I don't know if he'll resign with Washington. He might, but I don't know. The Rangers definitely need to address their holes on D, and I think they'll do that either at the draft. Some of these guys they could like Spooner's a restricted free agent. Nemestikov, Kevin Hayes. So that they have options if they don't want to sign all of them. But
I did really like San Jose's move for Evander Kane. I know people bring up character, bring up baggage.
they didn't give up a first unless he resigns. It's
It's a win-win. They gave up a second, a
I
fourth.
thought I read something
And a
that he
prospect.
wasn't interested in re-signing.
If he's not, then you give up a second, a fourth, and a mid-tier prospect. And if you re-sign him, you have a dude who's 26. Those players don't become available. Power forward that scores, People are saying he could be their new Marlowe. I know he's not Marlowe, but
No.
they have a big hole. They didn't replace Marlowe.
Replace Marlowe, yeah. Now they did, and he could sign. It depends.
I thought they did very well.
Yeah, they give up nothing. They're in my second tier of winners, along with the Winnipeg Jets getting
Yeah.
Stastny. Yeah,
I mean, I kind of see the West looks like Nashville and Winnipeg.
yeah,
The East looks like Pittsburgh,
that game
Tampa.
tonight. That was a barn burner.
yeah, it really was, dude.
Yeah, who would have thought, right? Ryan Hartman, Nashville trades a first round pick for him, and he starts on their 4th line tonight, and he gets the game winning goal. Go figure, right?
Oh man, you can't write that stuff up.
So, I mean, any
How do you
any
get more?
losers?
How do you get more for Hartman than for Kane?
I honestly think Vegas is
That was a huge price. I didn't even put him on my list of the
Yeah,
Pacific.
Tatar. I mean, he's not a rental. He'll be there for a few more years. Vegas had 3 first-round picks.
See, I think with that trade, you can reason it by what they had, but on the surface, you can't really reason a first, second, third for Tatar. I mean, he's cost controlled for
But
a
he
couple
was
years.
kind of languishing in Detroit.
I like the player. I just don't like everything they gave up.
We'll see. I mean,
I agree.
yeah.
You didn't
I can
care
see
for the
that.
transaction.
Also, Ducks.
Yeah, I
What'd
have
they
that.
do?
Jason Chimera.
I mean, Chimera for
Chimera's like
They shipped out Chris Wagner too.
for
didn't they?
Wagner.
one for one. They got older.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Although I do like Chimera's name, pretty interesting.
It is, yeah. But
It's
he's
like
still-
a
he's still
lion's
pretty
head on a
quick,
goat's
right?
body with a tail or something.
He's
Isn't
still
there a
pretty quick
band
though, isn't he?
named Chimera?
I think
Or
there was.
Chimera?
Yeah.
He's quick, but
It's
he's
a
also
hardcore
38.
reference.
Yeah.
Any
I
hardcore
think I'd rather
fans
keep the young player.
What was that?
Other than that,
He's quick, but he's 38, and I don't
I
know.
don't get that.
I'd rather keep
Also,
the young
I
guy
think
from my own
Strange.
system. And they signed Chris Kelly too, so who knows what they're doing? Just trying to get
Yeah.
older.
trying to get older, right?
So what about the elephant in the room though, dude? All the talk of Max Pacioretty to Los Angeles, dude.
What
would
I
you have
think is I love the player. Some people say that he's overrated. I completely disagree. He's averaging like 35 goals a year the last 5 full seasons, and that's what his centers that he's mainly playing with are Plekanec, Galchenyuk, and David Desharnais. I mean, he's creating a lot by himself. Can you imagine him with Kopitar, who's
creating all the damn
with?
time.
I mean, like, who are his wingers?
Don't call him out. Don't call it Iafallo.
Oh, I'm not. I was going to say, like, Dwight King and Trevor
Okay.
Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm not calling out Iafallo.
But one thing I wanted to touch on with that dude is a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's a locker
6
room,
goals.
He's a locker room cancer, whatever, blah blah blah." But I honestly think that has to is due to where he is, dude. He's in a French Canadian city, and he's an American. Captain.
He's destined to fail. Like,
dude. They every chance they get, they're going to
sully
his name.
I mean, they dropped the ball with not giving the seat to PK Subban. I mean, let's face it. Like when a couple years ago, when it should have been him giving the C. But then again, Bergevin, good at Bergevin.
So the rumored cost of said transaction was, what was it? Tyler Toffoli, Tanner Pearson, and our first for Max Pacioretty and their first.
I mean, I don't know. All the pieces were
there were a lot of mutations going on.
A lot of
variables,
things in flux. I mean, ultimately, would I have taken him for Velarde? No, absolutely not.
No, I think we
With
could
the
all
first-
agree on him for sure.
I mean, I would have gone our first, Pearson. I mean, I would have given Martinez. If they would have asked for Clague, I probably would do it if they gave us back one of their 4 second-round picks.
Yeah, I mean,
But
a first and Pearson being the centerpiece of the package, we're just upgrading. And I think that's what a contender should do. Anything more than that, we're starting to get...
desperate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd throw him a Anderson Dolan, even though I'm pretty stoked on him, but
You're pretty high on him.
I'm not going to give him like Pearson
I
and
am too,
Toffoli.
because I
I'm
think-
just not.
Dude,
I think we can
Pearson-
move
Even though I
Davey-
know the goals are there, but
No, but think about it though, dude. Like Pearson, Toffoli, and our first for Max Pacioretty and their lottery
protected, right?
their lottery protected pick, dude.
It would have been 2019 first, I think.
You think so?
But I mean, you're sending 2 guys in their mid-20s for a guy hitting his late
29.
20s who's going to need a big contract.
Didn't you have like a goal scored stat for like?
I did actually.
I think it's
Pacioretty has 158 goals since the 2013-2014 season, and Toffoli and Pearson have combined 164. So, yeah.
6 goals. Yeah, dude, that is.
And to your point, that's a lot of Pacioretty making those plays on his own, basically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy, though, that if a lot of the rumors are saying they wanted Velarde and we just closed the door, and that's why he's not in L.A.
No.
I was just about to say that, dude, that I am
Hey, you know what? We can revisit in the offseason. You never know.
Yeah. But still, I still don't see Blake giving away Velarde.
No, not Velarde, but
No.
we'll see.
I mean, if they want to work out at the draft table with our first and something like that, then maybe, depending on what's going to be available to us. But yeah, no, I'm really stoked that he didn't give away Velarde. Man. Velarde's our future center, dude. Maybe not number 1, but at least
number 2, and then when Carter gets a little older, then just move him to wing. And
Yep. So I mean, I really expect to see that kid up in the big leagues.
If we have a future, like in the immediate next 3 to 5 years, Velarde's a big part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Any other losers you guys can think of?
I mean, I don't know.
Well, if
I'd
anyone
say
lost, per se.
I would thought Arizona would do more to. I mean, maybe they just didn't want to get they didn't get the right return. for
Vancouver
OEL.
sold Vanek pretty cheap,
But
and
it's
Edmonton
Vanek,
sold Maroon
Yeah.
pretty cheap. But they did get a third for a guy they picked up on the waiver wire a month ago. So
Sounds like my fantasy transactions.
I kind of maybe thought
You're a
Carolina.
shrewd GM, by the way.
Yeah, well, I know. I pick up Ryan Johansson on free agents, and then I flip him a week later to somebody. I forget who though.
Who shall remain nameless?
Somebody who should. I legit no. I think it was Dave, but I forgot who it was that I got.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Oh, well.
This is like early on.
I think
Who?
Carolina could have added a forward. If the Islanders were serious, they could have added a goalie or
I
someone
thought
better
they
than
would-
Davidson
I mean,
on defense.
They signed Bailey to an extension. I thought they would
Yeah, I
be.
saw
Wouldn't
that.
you want to get Tavares locked up first?
Yeah,
That
Yeah.
seems like the main priority.
I don't
or at
understand
least it
that.
should
I don't
be the
understand that.
I
priority.
don't either.
hey, we had this much
Good on
cap
Bailey,
space,
though.
and
It's 6 years, $5 million AAV. he's career year in it. He's getting up there in age, and maybe his agent was like, "Look, maybe you have a good thing going. You're maybe career year in it."
But it's completely unacceptable if you don't have the money to sign Tavares because of this baby extension. I mean,
I think they'll make it work. I think
you have to make it work.
But then again, it's like to make that work, you have to trade out assets, and then
you're a worse team.
Then you're a worse team, and does he want to sign?
I'm actually really shocked that Erik Karlsson and Hoffman didn't move, dude.
Yeah, we can throw Ottawa in the losers category, but
yeah, I'm
that
really shocked that they didn't move any of them, dude. They're not making the playoffs.
Hey, they moved Nick Shore.
Oh, they didn't move.
Steal of the deadline.
He went to Calgary, right?
Calgary for a seventh round pick.
That's what he's worth.
A seventh round pick. I don't know the percentage of success. A third round pick is 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. So a seventh is maybe 10%.
Dotsick or Zetterberg,
It's pretty much not someone who ever plays in the NHL. Which kind of means that
he's not going to be very good.
Which kind of means that we insisted on Thompson over Shore, and from what I've seen from Thompson so far, not my move.
I think the main thing was just getting Gaborik off the books, moving that immovable contract.
But if they were going to move Shore for a seventh, then those second players were just kind of after the fact.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, all things considered, we have a depth now. Like we have Michael Amadio. I mean,
he's okay.
He's okay.
Yeah. I'm excited for his future, but I need to see more.
I like that Amadio Brzezinski chemistry.
More responsibility in the defensive zone.
Yeah, he's good for 1 turnover a game.
At least one, yeah.
I definitely feel that, like to your point earlier, like Anaheim, they definitely lost this trade deadline.
Yeah, they didn't
got old.
Yeah, they didn't get any scarier, dude. Yeah. I mean, they're a scary team as it is, man.
Yeah.
4 centers.
Here's another loser.
Probably didn't have to do too much, but
Jerome McGinley. He skates with the Providence Bruins.
I read this.
And then they end up signing Brian Giunta, who's... oh, man. He didn't even have a good Olympics.
It's a depth signing, veteran leadership.
Yeah.
They
bestow wisdom upon...
Boston traded for defensemen they're not even going to play. Holden. Yeah.
What'd they give up?
A third and O'Gara.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
O'Gara kind of looked lost against the other night against the Wings. But, they're playing a bunch of young defensemen, and that's, the growing pains. They're going to be like, basically, I think, they say this is a one-off, and that's like this year, they're going to rebuild on the fly, and next year they're going to become competitive, and, I mean, that might be the case. Who knows? They might flip one of their 3 first at the...
Mrazek going to...
Philly.
Yeah, to Philly?
Well,
that was a smart move for him, because I was just thinking about Detroit right now.
Speaking of Red Wings, I mean, Green didn't move. That's one of the bigger surprises.
I heard a lot of teams...
He was a guaranteed again.
I thought.
Said he'd only waive his NMC to go to either Washington or Tampa, and Tampa got McDonough.
It wasn't in the works, yeah.
Washington traded for Kempny and somebody else.
Yeah.
Yarabek? Is that who it was?
Jakub Jarabek from
Montreal. Is that who it was? They did a bunch of lateral moves.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like them getting Tom Gilbert from us. It's like really...
I heard a lot
That's the second Tom Gilbert reference we've made today.
I think what scared a lot of teams off of Mike Green was that he was injured, dude. He was injured at the time. He's still injured at the time. So, I mean, I don't think teams want to give up much for him if he's going to be injured.
I mean, I would have gone as high as a second, but that's it. I mean...
Even then, I wouldn't.
Even then, yeah. Exactly.
And even, definitely no roster players for sure.
Or Forbert.
Maybe.
Yes. You don't think
maybe.
that?
Probably, yeah.
I thought Detroit would maybe move a couple more pieces. You know what I mean?
You look at some of the people.
They got 3 assets with Tatar, 3 picks.
That was a great move.
That was a good move on Ken Holland.
Some of those sellers, though, they just didn't move. I mean, look at Arizona.
Exactly.
You could have seen Richardson, maybe Hjalmarsson. There's players there. Nobody moved except Breeder.
It's true.
And some minor league transactions.
Well, they picked up Darcy Kemper from us. Rest in peace. I mean, we failed to mention that.
I don't know.
I'm glad he got his contract before playing in front of the defense.
For real.
I think that maybe we tried to offer him that. I mean, I would have signed Kemper at $1.85 million for 2-year extension, but
he's solid, man. He's a solid backup.
Yeah, I mean,
I think he wanted the opportunity to start though.
Yeah, I don't blame
which
him.
I think every goalie wants. So.
Yeah, no, every goalie wants that, but he's gonna be fighting with Antti Raanta there.
If they can bring him back, if he wants to just get shelled every game.
get peppered.
I think I might have already said something along the lines of wanting to come back.
I assume he'll be back, actually.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's not a lot of starting goalies spots available next year, but after next year, the following year, that's Pekka Rinne's up, Bobrovsky's up.
Oh, snap.
Let's see, Tuukka. I think Tuukka's up. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's more. Anyway, my main point is
the market's going to open up.
The market's going to open up a bit, so that's why it's like I would have preferred to just sign Kemper to a 1-year deal, but 2 years.
Get your money.
It's okay. Toby Reeder. He's making an impact. I like his game.
he's feasibly resignable too. I mean, we didn't. It's not like a 35-year-old rental. We have his rights.
Eligible, and we can, if we
expensive.
want to, we can only just give him a qualifying offer and
take it to arbitration.
Take it to arbitration if we really want to go that route. But
I think I think we resign him, dude. I mean, he's like you said earlier. I mean, he's a good 6'9". He's a mid. He's in the middle, man. Yeah. He's gonna and he can kill it on the power on the PK. The dude's just so fast.
Like Robert said, poor man's Michael Grabner. Oh, Grabner to the Devils. First ever trade between the Rangers and Devils.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's gnarly.
For a second-round pick and a prospect who's in the KHL. Plays with Slava Voinov.
I like what the Devils did. They didn't mortgage a ton of their future, but adding Maroon and Grabner, they told their players, let's do it.
Why the hell not? Yeah.
Didn't mortgage the future, and they got a couple upgrades.
Yeah.
That works for me.
They're in the mix for the playoffs. How about Flyers leading the division?
That's crazy.
Are they still leading it?
Since Washington did win tonight, so I do not know. But
they're probably a playoff team,
last
though.
Night, they're a playoff.
Congrats, Jordan Will.
Okay, I hope that we
shout out Jordan Will.
Okay, I hope that Washington wins the division though, so that way we can see a Penguins Flyers first round matchup to the 2-3. That would be sweet.
That would be, dude.
Oh, fun fact!
You just heard me and Zach orgasm right now. Ooh.
That since the Eagles won the Super Bowl, Flyers are undefeated in regulation. Little.
Well, they gotta.
It's not a coincidence at all.
9-0-2 in the last 11 games.
Maybe they're all just drunk. They're all just playing.
They're just riding the wave.
They're riding the wave, man.
But back to Toby Reeder, man. There's been a couple times in I think it was yesterday's game. Kempe they were just trying to feed him on those breakaways. I mean, the chemistry will get there, but they're going to find him a little bit more, man, on those breakaways because he is just.
I mean, yeah, you're putting Reeder up with Kopitar and Brown too. Like that's.
What happens to the bottom six when Lewis comes back? Because Lewis is about to come back.
You're basically
Amadio.
throwing a wrench into the.
I'm thinking Amadio. I think if you ice Clifford, Thompson, Mitchell as a fourth line, that's pretty shut down.
Yeah.
And they're not that slow. And then in my...
I don't think they're slow at all.
In an ideal world, I'd have like Amadio's offense with Thompson's, defensive ability to not turn.
Well, you can cycle in guys when they're cold too. I mean, with Andrioff, he was playing the best hockey of his career before getting scratched, and Amadio. But you have a third line, maybe.
Or you put Lewis up on the third line too.
No, I have Lewis Kempe,
Mitchell
Reeder on the third line, and you got a lot of speed.
Or you can even, like we've been seeing, you switch out Iafallo and Reeder too.
Yeah.
I mean, those dudes, switching them out,
if you have
interchangeable.
Iafallo, Kempe, and Lewis as a third line, I mean, that's a really quick, forechecking, shutdown-y type of third line.
Dude, I mean, you send in Iafallo and Lewis, they're bloodhounds on the puck, dude.
Even Kempe, I mean, his speed is pretty tenacious.
And he's not afraid to throw the body too.
No, absolutely not. He was throwing it around a little bit today too.
I've been impressed by his his forecheck, man. He's been getting in there. I mean, he takes some stupid penalties, man.
I mean,
really stupid
tonight. I mean, we're finally getting that balance on scoring.
Yeah, we need it.
We just need balance on the deep pairs now, and then we're a championship team.
Well, I mean, except for yesterday's game, all of our goals came from Carter, Kopitar, and Brown. But it was nice this game, seeing Toffoli get on the board, Clifford get on the board,
kind of spreading it out.
Carter scoring an actual goal. Welcome back, Jeff Carter. There we go. Hey,
the Iceman is here.
Yeah, dude. Hey, what do you from the 2 games? He played against Edmonton.
3 games.
Yeah, 3 games. From the 3 games that you've seen from him, what are your takeaways?
He needs. I mean, it's not like he needs.
It's just the timing.
It's going to come. It's all going to come. Yeah, he's just a step off.
Yeah, you think he's just
a little bit.
Off? I agree with that.
Maybe endurance too. It looked like kind of
sluggish in the third.
I'm hoping we didn't rush him back. And we're putting a lot of heavy minutes, but he's the guy we need. I was watching that Edmonton game with my dad on his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. But
Dude.
he's like, you know, like how much is Carter really
thank
going to
you.
do? And then that first shift, like he gets a really good shot off and goal, and you're like, this is the guy we need. I forgot what it's like to have him.
Yeah, no.
You know, we've gave him heavy workloads. He's played 17, 19, and 15 minutes, so he's averaging like 17 minutes. And I mean, you see the timing. The timing's going to come.
Last night, 2 for 4. Tonight we got a power play goal.
But he's got 2 goals in those 3 games.
Can't be mad.
Difference maker, man.
I mean, I agree though, dude. He still does look a step off. I mean, yesterday's
how many
game.
games did he play before injuries?
6, and we were 5-0-1.
9.
But he had 3 points in those 6, all assists.
But you also have to. I mean, not only like what he brings to the ice, you know, with his skills, but I mean, also too having his voice back in the locker room like that, dude.
I'm sure it's
They didn't give him
jolt of energy.
I'm sure they didn't give him an A for no reason, you know. I mean, I could see him kind of. I remember reading something at the beginning of the season, right when he went down. They were talking about how Jeff Carter would be the one that would pick the song like whenever they won and stuff like that. And then when he went down, somebody else had to take over. So, I mean, they're getting the songs back.
Did you find out what song it was?
I remember reading it, but I can't remember it right now. I think it was like "Who Let the Dogs Out" or something. Oh man!
Who picked that?
I'm just messing around, man. I have no idea. I can't remember that right now. Not in this state. So
California?
I mean,
Hey, it's legal now.
yeah, it is, huh? I don't know what you're talking about though.
I was over by the airport the other day, and they had just have 2 billboards that said California, it's legal now, and then
There we
they
go.
show the other one that says that
Like
this
coming
one's
out of
location.
LAX, like out of
Yeah, like right by
Rivals?
LAX, like
Oh,
you
damn.
see right.
That's
by
pretty
that.
good marketing.
That is
Great
great marketing. That's
Let us show you the way. I hate that, dude. So how about we call some? I mean, we did just get 2 wins, but let's call them out, man. Who do you got?
I'm gonna call out that 3-27 pair, the greatest pair ever. Hopefully, it dies off pretty soon. I know I was really positive last week, but not this week.
Oh boy,
still better than 6 and 27. Though.
that's true. They are a little bit better than 6 and 27. What about you?
Maybe a little slower, but
I'm not going to call out. I'm just going to call UC Jokinen. You've been traded again.
Oh,
Keep the bags
man.
packed. That's 4 teams this season.
Keep your bags packed, John. Let us do the real
I feel
police
bad for him.
work.
is there a record for that?
I think he tied it.
Mike Sillinger.
In one
Or
season,
no.
4 teams.
Oh, that's brutal.
I felt
The juice is loose.
I thought
The
Niemi.
juice
I
is
thought
loose.
Niemi would get that this year, but he's on his 3rd.
yeah.
With Nick Shore.
Oh.
And Nick Shore's on
Yeah,
his 13
Nick Shore.
too.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's brutal. Shout out to the guys on multiple teams this year.
Yeah, dude. UC
And Nick Shore's
Jokinen's daughter,
maybe
when he
making the
scored that
playoffs
goal on
now.
her birthday, melted my heart. I wanted him to stick around. It was just sad to see him before.
You know, because he hasn't seen her in like 6 years.
Oh, that's terrible.
Anyway,
You call anybody out?
Derek Forbert, he's not a first pairing guy. Again, I mean, it's just like these games against Vegas. It's like they're clearly going after him,
and it's blatantly obvious
it's
that he's not a
blatantly
first guy.
obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
the Vegas's first goal, last night, it was just
2-on-1.
that. No, that was a different one. It was when Forbert got.
Not the first goal Dowdy pinched.
You're
on
right.
it.
No, it was their second goal.
Or no, it wasn't
What-
Dowdy. I think
it
it was
was-
Muzzin.
The 2-on-1 was Muzzin and Folan, but their next goal was just the guy just blew by Forbert.
That's right. Yeah,
and then
yeah.
Dowdy went to go cover his man, and then he ended up. It was Dowdy that lost the position battle in front of the net. When
Yeah.
it was,
That's right. Yeah.
But I mean, the guy just blew by Forbert with
Ease.
these.
yeah. Well,
So-
that's not very hard these days.
I'm gonna give. I'm not really gonna call anybody out. I'm gonna give a shout out to our offensive coordinator. I mean, power play's coming through right
What
now,
is
man.
his name?
Yeah. What's his name? What's his correct name?
Pierre.
French it up.
French it up.
I
Come
can't,
on.
dude. I just
Come on,
can't, man. I can't. Tejen. I can't.
There you go.
I mean, I gotta give him props.
Zach's
because,
glasses broke because of all the tension.
Yeah, dude, I'm sweating right now. You put me on the spot. Johnny on the spot, dude. It's hot in her. The power play's clicking right now. We jumped up into the top 10. Power play's now in the top 10.
I like
Finally, we got Carter back
Yeah.
as that righty on the left half wall, and
I mean-
in the cycle. And
It's not like it doesn't.
I mean,
work.
look exactly. Look at Alex Ovechkin. I mean, he's made
He's
a
made his-
career
yes.
for
The
right
PK's
there.
clicking
And
again.
then,
Power play's clicking again. The team is full now, or we have.
We're
This
on
is the
one.
team. These are the
Minus
guys that we're gonna
Lewis,
have.
but I mean, there's a lot of things to be positive about right now, dude. I mean,
Absolutely.
I am actually going to call somebody out. Nate Thompson, playing over 14 minutes a game. I mean, he's not a third liner. His Corsi's under 40%. The face-offs that he was kind of brought here to do haven't really followed. I think he's a skilled guy, but find a way to turn it around.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Right. I mean, I haven't been displeased or dispossessed by his play.
Stop trying to make dispossessed happen.
Yeah, it's called.
It'll never happen.
Dispossessed. Please just.
You're welcome, Katie.
Just please. So I think that's it. So I mean, this is. Thank you again for listening to the.
Now, one of you guys wish me a happy birthday, man.
I thought I said happy birthday.
I told
Yeah,
you.
to his dad.
Happy birthday.
Well, your birthday was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Wally. Yeah, I just want to give Wally a shout out for his birthday.
Wally. Shout out to you, bud.
I
The
only
stat
said
man,
this
dude.
because the inside joke is when the Kings held their season ticket holder that breakfast with the GM with Dean Lombardi, and it was on Dean's birthday, and Dean said, "Now, one of you guys wish me a happy birthday today." So that was kind of an homage to that.
I do have something I have to tell Wally, though. I don't really like you.
I like you, dude.
Wally, for the record,
I don't like you, dude. So, thank you again for
That's
listening
crazy
to the...
that Ursula from
That
Little
was
Mermaid
Ursula.
was talking crap to you.
I was the only one talking to her too.
I know.
It was
so
weird.
weird.
Oh well.
Anywho,
You're a nice guy.
4
We
points
digest.
in 2 games.
I'll take it.
Let's take it. All right, guys.
So, I mean, once again, you can find us on Grandstand Sports Network. Find us on Facebook. You follow us along on Twitter. We are LAHC,
Yep.
and then the Facebook is We're Los Angeles Hockey Club.
We have a SoundCloud too.
We do have a SoundCloud. You can always check us out on there too. So this is Zach.
That's Wally.
Robert.
This is Dave.
Yeah, we'll see you guys again next week.